Mike. Hi, everybody. Thanks for showing up. I'm Al Greger with the Historical Commission. It's my honor and privilege to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, the Executive Director of the Deep East Texas Council of Governments, Lonnie Hunt.
Would y'all please stand for the posting of the colors? Join me in the pledges to the United States flag and the flag of the state of Texas. First, the U.S. flag.
Of the United
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the pledge to the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you very much. We want to thank the Texas Department of Public Safety Color Guard for posting our colors this morning. Y'all should have seen this magnolia tree about 30 years ago when it was literally all the way down to the ground. Y'all may be seated. I want to welcome you. It's a great turnout, a great day. We're here this morning to commemorate and celebrate something that is a foundational document of Texas liberty and of American patriotism. We're here to dedicate a monument displaying William Barrett Travis' famous letter from the Alamo, also known as the Victory or Death Letter. And it's not lost on me, and I'm sure on you, that today happens to be the second day of March, which is Texas Independence Day. So we are so happy. What a great occasion to have this event, and what a great place to have this event. Now, I don't know about William Barrett Travis, but we know that many of the heroes of the Alamo literally walked right through here. Whether they made a turn at the square over there at the, or whether they went around behind the Moosehead, we don't know, but we know that you are sitting and we're standing right now on the original trail of the El Camino Real, by which so many early Texans made their way into Texas and to the Alamo, Davy Crockett being one of them, of course. So, and I thank you to Dr. Johnny Garner for pointing this out, and then we'll move on with the program. But tidbit of information, it's also not lost on us that right over here on the other side of the square, we have this wonderful establishment called Davy Crockett Drug. I'm pretty sure that's where he stopped and got his medicine refilled on his way. But the Martins, who owned Davy Crockett Drug, just if you don't know it, they were at the Alamo and were so inspired by the William Barrett Travis and the letter that he wrote that they named their son in his honor Barrett William instead of William Barrett. So they've always done things a little bit backwards, but that's just an example of the proud Texans that we have here in Crockett and Houston County, Texas. I want to, before we go any further, we need to bless this event and thank the Lord for bringing us all here today. And I'm going to ask Pastor Tim Allen from the First Christian Church to come and lead our invocation.
Thank you, Lonnie. Let's bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we gather here today in gratitude and in reverence, standing on the soil made meaningful by courage, conviction, and community. We thank you for the gift of heritage, for the men and women whose lives and sacrifices shaped Houston County, and for those who have faithfully preserved the memory for generations to come. As we dedicate this monument in honor of the words of William Travis, we remember not only his faith, principle, and service, but also the larger story of which this letter is part. During the siege of the Alamo in 1836, fewer than 200 Texans defended, including likes of Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett. They stood against overwhelming odds under the commander of Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. Though they failed, their sacrifice was not in vain. Lord, we thank you for their stand, brought precious time, stirred the hearts of people, and gave rise to the rallying cry of Remember the Alamo, which echoed decisive battle of San Jacinto. Through the victory, you granted the blessings of freedom, and the generations of Texans have lived under its promise. May this plaque not only commemorate history, but also remind us that freedom is costly, and courage is contagious, and faith can outlast defeat. That freedom is not the right to do what we want to do, but the responsibility and the ability to do what we ought to do. Bless those who have labored to preserve this history, the local historical society, all that are gathered here today. Guide our community with wisdom, unity, and justice, just as you guided the hearts of those who came before us. We thank you for the freedoms we enjoy, for over this great state of Texas that we are part of, that your providence will sustain generations to come. May you continue to bless our county, this great state, and this great country of America. We offer this gathering, in this remembrance, and this dedication to your glory and honor. And all God's people said, Amen.
Next, we're going to have another one of the Allen boys, Pastor Chuck Allen from Georgia Camp Baptist Church. That's a historic institution here in Houston County, to come and sing our Texas state song, Texas, Our Texas.
I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for this. My dad loved Houston County. I wouldn't be here if you won't have a chance today. They're having court for my 4 uncles that are on that board in there from World War II. And we just have a lot to be grateful for. I'm going to sing one verse of this. And if you kind of know it, you can hum along and sing with it with me. Texas, our Texas. Texas, our Texas, all hail the mighty state. Texas, our Texas, so wonderful, so great, boldest and grandest, withstanding every test. Oh, empire wide and glorious, you stand supremely blessed. God bless you, Texas, and keep you brave and strong, that you may grow in power and worth throughout the ages long.
And by the way, we have a larger audience than, we have a great crowd here on the square, but Joanne and Leon are here with KIVY, and I imagine a lot of folks are tuned in. If you couldn't see it on your radio, there are a lot of Texas flags waving here this morning, so looks great. We have a few dignitaries. We have a lot of dignitaries, but I've got a few here to recognize. Made a special effort to be here with us today, and I know there are others that but we could go all day long. But first of all, I guess we recognize our guest first. And if you don't know this gentleman, he's a good friend of mine. He's crazy, I'll tell you that, but he's crazy in a good way. Judge Chris Davis from Cherokee County. Judge, where'd you go? There he is. And somehow he's distant kin to Tina, so now he's trying to claim that I'm a kinfolk of him, and I don't know about that. We are appreciative of the support of the city of Crockett, and I know Dr. Ianthea Fisher, Mayor of Crockett, is here. Would you all please welcome Mayor Fisher? And we also have the esteemed Mayor of the city of Grapeland, the Honorable Velma Green. Of course, we already mentioned the DPS Color Guard. We appreciate them being here so much. And go ahead, yes. And behind me is a group of gentlemen known as the Cherokee Volunteers, and you'll probably be hearing from them a little bit later on. I don't think you'll miss it, but we really appreciate that's actually Judge Chris Davis's Secret Service detail there. They go with him everywhere he goes, and it is a tough job. And there are a lot of other dignitaries you're going to be hearing on the program today, so I'll introduce them as we go along. And I would just say, if you're I don't have a list of all of them, but if you're a county official of Houston County or a city official of any of the cities in Houston County, just give us a big wave so we can recognize you and give you a round of applause. Thank you. And we got some more thanks. I'll do it toward the end of the program, but right now I'd like to introduce Henry Taylor Millard. He is the East Texas Regional Chairman of the Alamo Letter Society. And I've got a word or two about him. He's a 7th generation Texan from Nacogdoches. As his granddaughter says, he was born back in the mid-1900s. Woo. He's written 2 Texas-based fiction novels with over 23 books sold worldwide. I should have previewed this. He gave me this to read. An honorable place begins with the very letter that we honor today, so this is a personal passion for him. And as soon as he learned the Alamo Letter Society, learned about the Alamo Letter Society 2 years ago, he contacted the leadership and now serves on their executive committee as their East Texas chairman. So please welcome Taylor Millard.
Thank you so much. It's what a good crowd. This is wonderful. This is a great testament to the people that did this. I've gone to several of these. I was the chairman in Nacogdoches when we did it there, and it's a way to honor our true Texas roots. And this is a very, very important thing for people to understand and know. The letter is taught in Texas history in the 7th grade, I think. And for those kids, that's a lesson. But when they are able to walk by their courthouse and see it and know that their county is part of that, it's important. It's important for all of us to see that we're doing this. And I'm very proud of this county. I met Judge Lovell at an event in Nacogdoches, and I tackled him as he was trying to leave because other politicians were going to start talking and he couldn't stand that, and I was trying to leave too. Anyway, I said, Judge, you don't know me, but I need to come see you about a project. And I briefly gave him the elevator pitch, and he said, yes, come see me. So about a year ago, I drove up, went up to his office. We sat and talked like we had grown up together and we're best of friends. And he said, we can do this, but you're gonna have to give me some time. And I said, I understand. But we planted that seed that day. But Al and the historic commissions and so many others got involved after that. And they did the watering and the fertilizing and the hoeing, and now we're here. I guess I got to be careful on using some words, but that didn't come out right. But I am very honored to be a part of this and part of this organization. And I do want to say this. If you, I talked to a gentleman earlier that's assisting with another county, Cherokee County, and if you know someone or would like to be involved in this, or would like to learn more about what we do, or if you know somebody in a county that might can assist, or if you'd like to be involved in it, just come up to me afterwards. I'm driving a red car, and I'm going to brag on my license plate. It's parked right over there, and it says the Alamo letter on my license plate. And when I got that, I sent the picture up to the executive committee in Dallas of this group of men that I'm with. And I inspired great jealousy. We didn't know we could do that. So anyway, one more thing before I go. The Alamo Letter Society wants to give out this certificate to 3 people that made this possible. And I'd like to call up Al. Al, where are you?
Yeah.
You already did. And Larry White, also. Larry, you'll come up. Larry was also very instrumental in doing this, getting this over the finish line. Thank you so much for what you've done. Thank you. And finally, Judge Jim Lovell. Jim? Oh, there you are. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. Thank y'all all, and let's go, keep going. Thanks.
We lost Bob Murphy, so this may be our next Bob Murphy coming out of Nacogdoches County here. I don't know. Next up, I want to introduce a gentleman who has ties to Houston County. I just really got to know him a little while ago this morning and found out his grandfather was the late Grady Owens. Some of you old timers remember Grady Owens. He was a justice of the peace up in Grapeland for many, many years and a wonderful man. And anyway, our next guest is the president of the Piney Woods chapter of the Sons of the Republic of Texas, and he also serves as the Northeast Texas district representative for the Sons of the Republic of Texas. And he's here in costume, so we're going to get some history from him, sure enough. Dr. Jeffrey Owens.
Everybody's tall. Thank you. So I'm a history professor at Tyler Junior College, and yes, my grandfather was Grady Owens, and we own land in Grapeland that's been in our family since 1834, and so I was going to give you a couple of things today. One, something about the Sons of the Republic of Texas, and something about the history of Houston County when it was in the Republic of Texas. So I try not to take too long. The Sons of the Republic of Texas is not trying to declare independence from the United States, and we aren't a paramilitary group, for those of you who think that. The Sons of the Republic of Texas is a lineage society, and it came out of a group of actual veterans of the Texas Revolution, but once they were all dead, their children and grandchildren thought, well, it's a shame if we just let this lapse. So in 1922, it was turned into a lineage group for anyone who's, well, I say men, whose ancestors lived in the Republic of Texas. It is not tied to military service per se, although many of them did, but anybody who lived in the Republic of Texas. We have members who are descendants of slaves who lived in the Republic of Texas. We have descendants of people who were Tejanos. We have descendants of people who were hillbillies and rednecks, and the rich folks and everybody. I know we would be open to Native Americans joining, but boy, they would have a hard time proving an ancestry. So you have to be able to prove that you have a qualifying ancestor. You can use deed records, marriage records, land grants, tax records, all kinds of things to show that you had an ancestor who lived in the Republic of Texas. Could I see, I want to take a picture. Could I see a show of your little flags that you got if you had an ancestor who lived in the Republic of Texas? Okay, I'm recording this because we need more dues-paying members. Okay. Now, we have several people here who are members of the Sons of the Republic of Texas, and could I get y'all to stand and be recognized? Now, two people in particular, Clayton Starr over here lives in Crockett, and he is the president of the James George chapter number 59, and Larry Lucas back there, wave your hand. He is the vice president of the Milton Irish chapter in Lufkin, and he's the Deep East Texas or Piney Woods district representative. I'm the district representative for Northeast Texas. So if y'all have any questions about wanting to join, Clayton could hold meetings here in Crockett if people want to come. So I just want to put a bug in your ear about that. Now, as far as Houston County, how many of y'all have ever heard of the McGee-Gutierrez expedition? Okay, it was a filibustering expedition during the War of 1812, where the United States kind of did a covert operation to try to see if they could get Texas's independence from Spain. It did not work. But one of the members, and it's very hard to find anybody who admits that they were in this, Daniel McLean was the first white settler of what is now Houston County, and he was a member of that expedition. He fled to Louisiana when the Spanish came after them and returned in 1821 with his brother-in-law, John Sheridan. As far as I've heard, those were the first two white settlers in what is now Houston County, and they were both killed by Indians in 1837. Do we have any descendants of the McLeans and the Sheridans here today? I've met some. I know they still live here. In the early days, there were several forts in Houston County. Fort Brown, there was a fort at Mustang Prairie, there was a blockhouse in Austonio, there was Fort Houston up at Palestine, compounds that belonged to Jacob Masters, Joseph Redmond Rice, Elisha Clapp, Elijah Gossett, the Hallmarks, the Parkers, McLean and Sheridan, all these early families. Many of you are probably descendants of them like I am. Of course, when Houston County was formed, it included what is now Trinity County, Anderson County, and part of Henderson County, and it was created from Nacogdoches County. Davy Crockett camped on Hurricane Creek on land of Elijah Gossett on his way to the Alamo. William T. Sadler, who lived up just north of the line, was said to have interpreted at San Jacinto. The Edens Madden Massacre occurred in 1838, and a Campbell family was massacred near Hall's trading post on the Trinity in 1839. Just because there were white settlers here doesn't mean the Native Americans just instantly evaporated. It took a while for that to be resolved. The petition to create Houston County was written at Mustang Prairie in April of 1837. There are 107 signatures on that document, and 4 of those people who signed are my direct ancestors, and probably at least a dozen uncles. And I'm sure if you looked at it, you would say, oh yeah, I need these people. It was approved by the Republic of Texas Congress in June and signed by Sam Houston. And you know, he was such a modest, retiring person who hated the spotlight. I'm sure it grieved him a lot that the first county created by the Republic of Texas was named for him. So Elijah Gossett's son, A.E. Gossett, donated land for the county seat, which is here. The reason for this particular location, it was on El Camino Real, and it was halfway between the Trinity and the Natchez. David G. Burnett had an impresario contract to settle 300 families in this area, but he wasn't able to fulfill it. Mustang Prairie was the first post office, 1837, and I could not tell you where that is. Does somebody know where it is? Okay. Crockett was founded December 20th, 1837. The oldest churches in the county, as far as I could tell from what I looked at, of course, Pilgrim Church, that's now in Elkhart, was brought intact in 1834. That's a primitive Baptist church. First Methodist of Crockett was founded in December of 1839. There was a Methodist church called Old Shiloh that was founded in the 1830s. I couldn't tell you about Masonic lodges or other organizations that might have existed here during the Republic, but it's certainly something that now we have the Alamo letter plaque and all of these, all of this interest in the Republic of Texas era. The Historical Commission and people who live here can focus on that maybe and, think about. I gave a paper last year at a conference about the foreign policy of the Republic of Texas. Have you ever thought about what would have happened if we had not joined the United States? The English and the French in particular were very interested in making sure we never joined the USA. They did not want the United States to become more powerful. They were putting great pressure on Mexico to recognize the Republic of Texas and warned them that if they persisted in claiming that they still owned it, that the United States would inevitably have a war with them and the consequences would be vast. Which of course they were. There were several countries that had treaties with the Republic of Texas, and they were working on several others. They even were thinking about making a deal with Russia, which claimed Alaska went all the way to San Francisco. And Lamar wanted to extend the border of Texas all the way to the Pacific Ocean. So if Texas and Russia had contained the United States with the help of Britain, France, and Mexico, we would never have had a West Coast, and the United States would only go to the Rocky Mountains. Just something to think about. Thank you.
Just one more tidbit of information. I'm stooping because Judge Lovell's coming up next. Don't even raising this thing. Well, he's big in stature in my eyes. But one other tidbit of information, Leon and I grew up in the northern part of Polk County, up in the Corrigan area, and that also was part of the original Houston County. When Trinity County was carved out, that was part of Trinity County, and then later, for whatever reason, they didn't want to be in Trinity County, so the folks up there petitioned to de-annex from Trinity to Polk. So the original Houston County also included the city of Corrigan, where I grew up in Polk County. I thought that was kind of neat. I only sort of stumbled into that discovery a few years ago. So next up, we're going to actually hear the letter. And Judge Jim Lovell, our Houston County judge, who, by the way, is doing a tremendous job, and especially since he has no opponent, I'm happy to endorse him today for re-election. Y'all be sure and vote tomorrow, but welcome my friend and my county judge, Jim Lovell, who's going to read the Travis letter to us.
Thank you, Lonnie. I'm going to raise this a little bit now. That is an election that I can win unopposed. So you have me for another term. Welcome everyone. It's a great turnout. I didn't know what to think as far as the crowd, but it is great. Mr. Miller did approach me and Nacogdoches, and thank you for getting this ball to rolling. And I will say this, he would have sold 24 copies, but he gave me one of his books. I didn't have to buy it, but I recommend that you do. They are great books. I've read them both. He reminded me, which I didn't need reminding, that this needed to happen because Houston County was the first county established in Texas. And by all means, we need to have this, and we've made it happen. I'd like to especially thank our Historical Commission. They are a great bunch, very active, and thank y'all so much for the hard work that you've done. So, this is the letter that Colonel Travis wrote. Commandancy of the Alamo, February 24th, 1836. To the people of Texas and all Americans in the world. Fellow citizens and compatriots, I am besieged by 1,000 or more of the Mexicans under Santa Anna. I have sustained a continual bombardment and cannonade for 24 hours and have not lost a man. The enemy has demanded a surrender at discretion, otherwise the garrison are to be put to the sword if the fort is taken. I have answered the demand with a cannon shot, and our flag still waves proudly from the walls. I shall never surrender or retreat. Then I call on you in the name of liberty, of patriotism, and everything dear to the American character to come to our aid with all dispatch. The enemy is receiving reinforcements daily and will no doubt increase to 3,000 or 4,000 in 4 or 5 days. If this call is neglected, I am determined to sustain myself as long as possible and die like a soldier who never forget what is due in his own honor and that of his country. Victory or death. Signed, William Barrett Travis, Lieutenant Colonel, Commander. P.S. The Lord is on our side. When the enemy appeared in sight, we had not 3 bushels of corn. We have since found in deserted houses 80 or 90 bushels and got into the walls 20 or 30 head of beeves. Travis. Thank you. Woo.
And so we've come to the point now where we're about to unveil the monument. And then you'll want to hold on to your chairs. All right, and this is Texas, so we like to shoot things here. The Cherokee Volunteers will now fire an honorary musket volley in honor of our Texas heroes. Don't mess with Texas. The Travis Letter Committee would like to thank all those who've helped make this event happen. And again, I'm sure there's someone here that we're going to fail to mention that deserves mentioning, but I got a list, and we want to thank you and all the others. We'll start with the Houston County Commissioners Court, Judge Lovell and all the county commissioners. Thank you all. You're welcome to hold your applause to the end if you'd like. Members of the Crockett Garden Club have been instrumental in this effort. Thank you, ladies. The Crockett High School National Honor Society and their advisor, Pamela Randall. Were the students able to, yeah, they let them out of school today, good job. The Daughters of the American Revolution. Michael Brenner and Houston County Monument. I have a feeling he's got a lot to do with what we're looking at right here today. Good job, Michael. KIVY Radio for the publicity and the live coverage today. The Messenger, Greg Ritchie and his team at The Messenger for covering all the good things going on in Houston County. Joni Klontz and the Moosehead Cafe. Here's Joni. The Downtown Crockett Association. Wow, has that group really made a difference here in downtown Crockett. The city of Crockett. We introduced Mayor Fisher earlier, but everyone involved with the city of Crockett. And that includes the Crockett Police Department. I'll just group our law enforcement in here now for keeping us safe today, directing traffic, doing what they do. Chief Smith, thank you, and the Crockett PD. Sheriff Zach Binge and the Houston County Sheriff's Office. Our Texas DPS. I see Texas Parks and Wildlife here represented as well today. I also know we have rangers from, well, and that's them out there, I guess, from the Mission Tejas State Park. Appreciate you. Look at these guys waving back here. If you hadn't been to Mission Tejas State Park lately, you can see the part of the authentic trail where these Texas heroes marched their way from wherever they came in other parts of the United States down through Texas all the way to the Alamo and points beyond. And that's a wonderful, wonderful history lesson out at Mission Tejas State Park at Weeches. TxDOT, we can't do anything without TxDOT. They give us permission to control the traffic, and we appreciate that. HEB Crockett, Jamie Thompson is the manager. I believe they've provided refreshments for us today. Our sound guy, Mike Marsh. How nice it is to have an event where the sound A, works, and B, works very, very well. Brent Price also a part of that, so thank Brent and Mike and anybody else that helped them plug in a cord. We appreciate that. That makes a world of difference. And anyone that we've overlooked, I do want to recognize, we have one of our state offices represented here. Linda Parker is with the Office of State Representative Trent Ashby, and we appreciate her. And I'm terrible at picking faces out of a crowd, but if there's any other state officials or state offices represented, wish you all would give us a quick wave so we can recognize you too. Thank you all for being here. In closing, I will just say that few pieces of literature in the history of the world have had the immediate effect and historical staying power of those 220 words that Judge Lovell read in the Travis letter. The spirit of this letter is one of the things that makes Texans Texans and makes Texas Texas. And we're going to close the event here today with a toast to Texas, led by Judge Jim Lovell. Now don't get too excited, I believe it's Dr. Pepper. But you know, that's a great Texas product too. So Judge Lovell, come and give us a toast to Texas.
Dr. Pepper is chosen because it is a Texas product. So here's the toast to Texas, joyous and sparkling, evergreen when it rains, enduring in drought, timeless, endless in boundaries, exciting, home to the adventures of yesterday and today, with shrines from the past and space and spirit for the future, to Texas. Thank you all.
Oh, you know, there is one. I knew I'd forget something. I want to recognize the members of the Travis Letter Committee. Rebecca Huffman. They're all here doing other jobs today in addition to serving on this planning committee. Wade Thomas, Frank Foster, Larry White, He's got a fan club. Wanda Jordan, Bill Bain, Judge Jim Lovell, and the gentleman that I'll be honest with you, I've been to a lot of activities and participated in a lot of activities and events. I don't think I've ever seen a more organized activity or event than this. And I give a lot of credit to Al Krieger, I believe he's the secretary of the Historical Commission. And he's the guy that's been feeding me information all this time. And Al, you've done a great job. Thank you. This concludes our program. Is there anything else I need to announce? Be safe going home. We'll see you back here, and we'll go vote tomorrow. All right? There are goodies? We do have some goodies over in the community room on the south side of the square if you'd like to come and celebrate.